Good evening, friends. TGIF. It's your girl AJ, Suburban Princess here, Birds of a Feather. This gentleman who I've talked to, even when I first started doing this whole video blog portion of my podcast, Birds of a Feather, he has definitely been in the know when it comes to anything Eagles all day, every day. So I want to talk to him just because I know he's just as still a little groggy and sad, just like I've been since the Super Bowl loss of the Eagles. So please welcome the fourth and Johnner you know and love, Gayle Sanders. What's up, Gayle?
Hey, I just want to thank you for bringing a smile to my face. Always great to see good Eagle friends in the community. Yeah, I had, like you said, man. Before we were talking before the show. It's been a rough couple weeks, man. It's been
It's
it's
very
been tough.
weird.
For
It's
the,
very weird because we thought we'd be hungover from the celebration of a parade and, the city just getting back to normal. And it's been like a drag,
I
for
mean,
the past two
it was a
weeks.
tough scene because we were out there at the we threw a Super Bowl party at the Hard Rock. Shout out to Hard
I
Rock.
know. I heard. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we were thinking, hey, we're gonna move right to Broad Street. I mean, I was planning this thing for months in advance, so
Hmm.
that's how far in advance I thought the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl. So to see like 200 plus people leave at the same time with the same dejected
Yeah.
look on their face, it was wild, man. It was wild.
Now, what part of the game did you start realizing like this isn't going to happen? Because I know for me, it was literally within the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Because I always say that's when, to me, when all the magic starts to happen, and it just seemed like it wasn't happening.
I think there were moments in the game where, as an Eagle fan, the Negadelphian will part of you might slip in,
Again, yep,
when the Chiefs came back in the second half when
yeah,
they drove the ball down the field. You were like, all right, well then you saw your Eagles drive the ball back, and
right,
then they were down a touchdown or down by eight, and then the Eagles come back and score, and then
yep,
Jalen gets a 2 point conversion. I mean, that was I very probably all the way to the very end. I thought they were in it. I did see some Eagle fans at our party
hmm,
leave at a
yeah,
certain time, and I can't
damn,
believe Eagle fans are leaving, thinking that we're not coming back, and we come back at the 2 point, and then they got the stop. Where I was like, all right, they're gonna get the stop, and then the flag.
yep. The
So
flag heard around seen around the world.
definitely, I think once I saw the flag, I knew it was over, but I just was surprised that they threw it.
Yeah, it was one of those calls that, like you said, I'm sure I've seen y'all talk it on the live stream, and I know I've seen in past football games. There's certain things that they let go when it comes to playoff games or even a Super Bowl that they usually even let go in the regular season. That was just one of those like ticky tack things that I'm like, okay, it's obvious he touched him, but was he really going to be impeded and get the ball at that point the way he Mahomes threw it? It's like I didn't see that happening either way. So it was just one of those like you could have just let that slide, but
Yeah,
whatever.
and every analyst out there, and even opposing fans that don't like the Eagles were kind of in the same. They were agreeing with that.
Yeah, they were in
Because
our corner. Yeah, a lot of people who didn't even watch sports said the same thing. They're like, was that really worth slowing down the progress of that? Obviously, what could have been a score or couldn't. It didn't matter at that point. It was just questionable.
and
Um,
I think that's what hurts right now is because
that's really what it is. Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no defined answer that makes me feel any better.
Mm,
Someone asked me to describe how you're feeling. I said, well, imagine like a dope sentence structure. You got the best sentence ever. And you don't put a period on it.
right.
So we don't know exactly. We forgot to put the period on this whole season, and it was kind of forced on us. Like, so, we didn't even get a chance.
No, and did
Um,
you feel like it was one of those seasons too where it was like it was so I think the difference between this season and 2017 was that 2017 literally felt good, but you still didn't know once Carson went down. Whereas this season it was just nonstop good until Hurts' shoulder. But even then I wasn't worried because I'm like, well, they don't really need these last couple games.
mhm.
And then when Gardner blew that Dallas game that I thought they were going to come back and have, I thought, okay, this doesn't feel good because now even the backup's starting to mess up because he won a game for them last season too. So it was just one of those things where both seasons are different, but yet Obviously, one ended differently than the other. I just feel like looking at this season now, it's like I still kind of am even shocked that they got to the Super Bowl, but I felt like they had a shot, and I felt like it didn't feel bad to be that confident going into a Super Bowl for once. I didn't have that feeling of Negadelphia.
It started early in the season for me. I did think they were going to make a run, so I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that the agony of defeat didn't hit us until the Super Bowl, because we
Yeah.
that L was so painful because we didn't feel that all season. And
No.
when you had the loss against Washington, it was a lot of ticky tack penalties, and
Mhm.
the face mask on Goddard, and Quest slipping and fumble, and then there was
Fumbling.
Gardner coming in. I was like, all right, that's not Jalen under
Right.
center, so I'm still okay with that. Once he comes back, we'll be all right. And
Yeah.
then to drop 30+ in every single game,
Right.
my prediction for the game was like 30, it was like 33-21. I thought we were going to put up 30+ points and win. So the
Mhm.
fact that we score 35, you would think that would be enough.
I thought for
Otherwise,
some weird reason it might tie and go into overtime. For some weird reason. I even told my co-ed, Eddie, I said, I think it wouldn't be shocking if they went into overtime because I feel like I'm not underestimating the Chiefs, but I said if they have to go toe to toe, I wouldn't be shocked if it came down to either a kick or it goes into overtime and then it's a kick. So
but
the
I
way it
think
happened was weird.
in terms of 2017 versus this season, I thought it was a more matured approach from myself. I felt like I was like, is this how elite fan bases feel? Like this is how
Mhm.
they
I
go. I
know.
was like, is this a new feeling that I'm feeling?
Yeah, yeah. We
Because
almost felt a little cocky.
I was like, I've been here, but I felt like what the team had showed us. I mean, they were, then when people were like, you guys are being too confident on our podcast, I was like, from what
Right.
have you not seen from this football team? You shouldn't be confident about what they're putting
Right.
down. We
Right.
have one of the best offensive lines, best defensive lines, corners that are tremendous. You have Jalen Hurts first and
Mhm.
foremost playing like an MVP candidate, and I think at the end of the day, I felt when people would say that, I'm like, you're offending me and you're offending the football
By
team,
doubting my confidence, yeah.
because I was like, we watched some basic ass Eagle teams over the decades,
Right.
and from 2017, kind of what a Super Bowl team looks like.
Yeah.
You should,
Yeah.
and they had those vibes early on in the season, and they loved playing with each other. And
Mhm.
again, it still felt like Eagles versus everybody in terms of like
Absolutely.
the media and
Yeah.
other fan bases collectively downgrading anything great the Eagles did the whole season. So I was like, I love that. I love where
Mhm.
we're at in that sense. So again, they went toe to toe with the Super Bowl champs.
Right. And that's why I said they were worthy of being there once you saw that. And the fact
Of
that
course.
even Jalen can overcome his own fumble by coming back and forcing that team down the field and then getting the 2-point conversion, it just showed you that he literally put the team on his back. And yeah, I mean, turf was bad. Yeah, that's great. But honestly, that wouldn't have mattered because most of those guys changed their cleats. So they had a solution for that. Most of the guys that had problems with slipping changed their cleats. And at the end of the day, I believe that that wasn't an excuse. It was bad turf, obviously, but they also had other stuff going on
Mhm.
before the game. So I'm not obsessed over that. I'm more obsessed over the fact that there were opportunities for the defense to hold. And that's what really bothered me when it became a loss was that defense should have showed up out of all the times to really show up. They should have showed up then
I
at
mean,
that moment.
24-14. You're thinking that the Eagles offense will score a couple more touchdowns.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the mindset I'm coming out of
Yeah.
the half with.
Yep.
Um, I was like, up halftime was a little long.
Yeah.
Rihanna, she did well. Uh, you
But you were
know,
still antsy.
you know,
You're like, I'm ready to seal this.
like Eagle fans. It's funny because the Eagle fans that are at our party, I was like gauging where they were at. Like, did you want to listen to Rihanna's halftime, or do you want to throw a little party
Yeah.
of our own at halftime? Like collectively, everyone wants to see Rihanna.
Mhm.
People were thinking Patrick Mahomes is not healthy. Some people were thinking
Yeah,
he
the
was.
way he limped out, yeah.
I seen Eagle fans rejoicing in the corner, like it's over. I'm like, it was a weird vibe,
It
man.
was a weird
Because I was
vibe.
like, relax, chill, don't just be, don't
Yeah.
say nothing, just be.
Don't
Let's
celebrate yet.
let's
Yeah.
let's let it happen. Um, but I guess we could all like target Jonathan Gannon's defense as one of the when we finally, I'm not gonna say embrace or get over, because I don't think I told someone,
Nah.
I was like I will never. It's like
Nah.
I will never get over this loss. In the same way, I never got over the loss the Patriots
Yeah, from 2005. Yeah.
played
Oh
in
yeah.
Jacksonville. I didn't. To this day, I'm thinking, if you just didn't let Brady score right before the second half.
Shoot, there was a lot of stuff, and I was going to Italy that time because my sister was having her baby overseas, so I literally don't remember all of the game because I saw highlights later when I got there. But yeah, no, that game still feels like a big old like mess toward the end.
Mhm.
Um, and that's and not to hang on this too long because I don't want to keep you, but going forward, you've taken a trip down to the Senior Bowl like you always do, and so with the draft coming up next month, well, the combine coming up, I think that there's obviously names being tossed now as to what could be the Eagles' focus for the first round. Now, you know me, I'm going to be on your 4th and Jawn live stream when y'all do the draft because I'm looking forward to it because last year was so much fun.
Um,
But I really hope that we're not sitting through like what you did last year when they when they moved a lot of stuff to like later and you were like, what the hell's going on?
man, listen, that was
That was
that was
painful.
the longest.
The longest draft ever. Yes. I hope they're very decisive this year and Howie knows that we got to go defensive first because clearly that is still an issue. And they definitely need a defensive mind. Who are you thinking of for a coordinator now that Gannon's moved on to Arizona?
Well, a couple guys that were interviewed just got what's the name? Got
He's got jobs. Vance, yeah, he's in Denver.
yeah, Vance with the Broncos. I was looking at the Georgia coordinator.
Oh yeah.
Once I heard the news, it's funny because like I don't know, like in some of our older podcasts, I was encouraging people to go look at this clip that I was sharing with a lot of people, and it was kind of like the mindset, like Eagles, because the Eagles are always like in advance, like are always doing their research, and
Yeah.
once I started looking at the Georgia guys, I'm like, if they do get a Jordan Davis, they do get into Kobe Dean, and then they end up getting those guys. I was looking at this. It was like a coach's clinic, and it was the coach that we're interviewing now is the guy that was speaking. I'll share. I'll send it to you just so you can see it.
Yeah.
But you can see how they were intrigued. They might be intrigued what he brings to the table in terms of what Georgia does. And you have two captains from that Georgia team that played under him as well.
Right.
So I mean, if they're looking to bring somebody in with new, fresh ideas, he's a guy. And it's funny because I ended up watching the video again today for another hour just to see.
Gayle's a fan, people.
And it's like, okay, let me revisit this. But it's funny that here we are. They're interviewing him for this spot, and we'll see how that goes. But I think they have to figure out how they want to use some of these pieces.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
And in this video, they kind of talk about the players that are the role players that are in this type of defense. Kobe Dean, Jordan Davis. So it gives you a nice a grasp of what they might try to do, because you got to think about the pieces that we have in place and how they can be successful moving forward. I know we're talking about the draft a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the draft right now, we're sitting at 10. I think it suits our needs with the corners that could potentially be on the board. Like we talk about Gonzalez from Oregon, a long corner, got the size. Devin Witherspoon, a kid from Illinois, who just he's lighting folks up. He has that kind of Chauncey swagger, the it factor and hit factor. And
We
then
need
you,
somebody who can tackle too. That seems to be an
yeah,
issue too,
uh,
wrapping people up.
definitely run support. You don't got to worry about with him.
Yeah.
I think Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah,
Uh,
obviously.
has he's the guy who's long as well. Doesn't have quite the ball production as the other two, but I think overall they could be. Those are three guys that you could look at, and it fits the bill. I mean, we need a corner.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we love Bradbury, um, I mean, do we have? It's my black dad voice. Like, do we have the money for that? You get that look.
You afford that.
You might have to put that back. Money don't grow on trees, son.
Right. You better get the scoop on.
Uh, if you want Chauncey, you're gonna have to get creative.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, we have 17 guys.
Yep.
I mean, that's a record number of free agents
Seriously.
from a Super Bowl team to figure something out. I mean, we also have Kelsey, we got Brandon Graham, we have Fletcher Cox. If you name those three players right there and just think of life after those guys,
Yeah.
there's a little depression factor after. I mean, those three guys have molded a lot of people's fandom, younger Eagle fans. But overall, I think there's the way the draft is set up right now. There's not many. I would say there's some. I'm not going to say it's a super duper defensive end class. Like a Miles Murphy from Clemson. People are talking about, but I'm not like. I want to be excited.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because
about
we
our
had
first
Jawn
round
from Clemson. He didn't really do anything spectacular since.
I was looking at his contract today. I was like, I was looking. I was like 1.1 guaranteed. We got one more year with that dude.
Right. I could do it one more year. Yeah.
You can see how my day goes as a crazy
They'll be
Eagle
in the
fan.
front office mentally.
I be everywhere, just like how many more years we got with this dude? Because someone's like, is he done? I'm like, nah, bro. I'll send you the contract breakdown. Because I mean, we do have pieces. We have Epps we have to think about.
Yeah.
So I mean, Brian Branch from Alabama could be a potential guy who could play safety, can play that star role, can play slot corner if you need him. He's got that versatile mindset, overall traits that you like. But it's weird because like when you start looking at the 10th pick, you're like, they got to be worth the 10th pick.
Yeah.
For me to be excited.
Especially first round, yeah. So you got to be smart about it, or just.
So I'm looking at all these guys, and I'm like, all right, this guy's not exciting me. This guy's not exciting. Like, some of these. There's another the defensive tackle from Clemson as well. Breesy, I wasn't excited about him, but
who's before us? Because I'm always worried about people before us. Because to me, that dictates whether they're going to move back or not. Because if they're going to take something that we might need,
I mean,
Dallas is ahead of us or not in the first round.
The whole idea is you're hoping that you can have these quarterbacks go. If we can get quarterbacks to go before, we're talking about the four. I think Anthony Richardson is a kid from Florida, where you're hoping that he goes above us. Because you have Carolina. Do they want a quarterback? You have Atlanta at 8. We have Vegas at 7. The Rams. Actually, Detroit at 6. Seattle at 5.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, who wants a quarterback? Who where does Arizona want to go?
Right.
Then you have Houston and Chicago. We know Houston wants a quarterback as well. So if we get the 4 quarterbacks to go, you're hoping one quarterback, one defensive player, slips.
So what do you feel like when you go to the Senior Bowl? Have you crossed paths with some of these prospects you're bringing up, or
a lot of the I would be lying to you if I didn't drive all the way there to see Devin Witherspoon, and when Devin Witherspoon didn't show up, broke my heart because I was like,
Gayle left the day after the game too for that.
I was like, I put 16 hours into this drive. I was like,
I know you were salty. Well, what else did you get out of it, even though it wasn't?
it was a weird experience.
Okay.
Because you had Super Bowl on your mind. A lot of analysts that I know that have been coming up through the game with me. Like, it's cool to see all these analysts that
Yeah.
there, and they're all talking to me about the Eagles. So like, oh, like I'm trying to like be the
Be a fan, and they're looking at you like a pro.
yeah, they're like because let me talk about the Eagles. Like, no, I want to hear who you like out here.
What do
Like,
you think?
I know I got the Super Bowl in a couple weeks, in a
Right.
week or so. Let me know who you like.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's a great opportunity to see these players go against some of the best players all over the country. And a lot of these guys, a couple of them were like first round talents, but not a lot of them.
Okay.
A lot of I thought Will Levis was going to be out there playing quarterback potentially, but he didn't show. So a lot of guys weren't showing, and some of the players will that had their stocks high first round. They'll play like one practice, and they're like, "Nah, I'm good. My stock is
right,
good."
because this was the week before the Super Bowl. My bad.
Yeah.
It was after the last home game that you went, right?
Yeah, after the championship, I got in the car and
I know when I saw you said you're going to do that, I said, Gayle is nuts, man, but he's dedicated.
Shout out to Breezy, who also came down.
Oh yeah, Breezy! Shout out to her. Yes, I was waiting for her to do a pod episode.
First time to go down. But yeah, it was interesting to watch her.
Yeah, I want to. Now I got to get her back on my pod because I want to hear her experience.
Because I was like, you got to meet people down here. So for a lot of people who never been to Senior Bowl, it's a great opportunity to meet people in the industry. Especially, there's a lot of women in the community that are doing big things.
As it should be.
You should go down there and politic with anyone you can down there. But you'll be at this. You'll be at the. I'm at Chick-fil-A. I turn around and like, okay, Dan Marino. Okay.
Right.
Okay, Dan. Day. And he used his name, and it's like, hey, Dan, your sandwich is ready. And I was like, Dan is using his real name.
Didn't even use an alias. Look at that.
So you see Ian Rappaport walk by you on the street, or you see him at the bar later on in the night. It's all the NFL community. Everyone's down there, agents and players, and I had friends that are agents, and it's a great experience. You should definitely.
Yeah, it sounds cool because I've seen some of the footage on NFL Network, but I never thought it was anywhere I'd want to go. But I mean, now that you say that it's becoming more of a kind of more open event especially for women, it's probably something to look at.
You should go just to just get another layer of understanding of like the NFL and the NFL calendar cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone goes down there. After that, it's it's the Super Bowl, then it's the Combine, and all these people that'll be down there, they're going to the next event. So you're literally meeting scouts, you name it. You meet everyone down there.
Yeah, because I need to talk to our boy Chris.
Oh yeah, I was
he's a scout. I know I need to interview him for one night if I can get him to.
Mal and his crew out there scouting NFL personnel. They're like in the bar, like, who's that? He's the Packers, I think, assistant GM. Like, and I was like, bro, you guys are on one. Like, let's go to the hotel over there. I heard the bar over there that all the GMs go in. So we're sitting in there, and all of a sudden, these certain GMs are walking through, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And you see people put in that work,
I know. I got to talk to Mally. I'm gonna see if I can try to get him to chat just before the draft starts because I value his knowledge. He was always funny. I was always laughing because I was always intrigued, but I secretly am like, now that I know he's a scout, now I'm like, yo, Mally's about his business. So
yeah, I mean, just thinking about these, like my main objective when I went to the Senior Bowl was really look at some of these, running backs that were down there, to get an idea of, because I'm thinking life after Miles.
I know. I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, as much as like I called that pick the year he was drafted, I was watching it live, and I was like, I think it's Miles Sanders to pick, and he was picked. And just to be honest, I'm like, Not that I'm devaluing running. I played running back at
Mhm.
one time in my like football. So I mean, halfbacks are a thing, people. But the way that it's set up, you can find these running backs
Yeah.
year after year in day three. So Tajay Spears out of Tulane was the talk of the town. Like this dude, like if you go back and watch Tulane versus USC,
Mhm.
he's got he's had some torn ACLs in his past, but like if you're talking about a day three guy or
Mhm.
if third round, that's I'm literally trying to look at the next guys that on
Yeah.
day three, like you talk about Gainwell, where we got Gainwell, and
Yeah,
see
from
how
Memphis.
effective he was.
Yeah.
He pretty much outsnapped Miles in the Super Bowl.
He did.
We're talking about a fifth round pick.
He had a Corey Clement moment. Like, it's all of a sudden he became the dude, and it was just like, "Well, why did they use him this much before?" But it depends. It depends on the team. It depends on the scheme and how it's working. Yeah, sometimes Miles will be the man. Most of the time, Kenny would be the one to pick up the back, and then obviously Boston will come through every now and then as an anchor. Do you think they're going to keep Boston again for one more year? Because I feel like he's such a good battering
I
ram to
think
keep.
he's cheap right now. Like where
Yeah.
where he's at right now, his market value is at 1.1 million. So I think in terms of if you're bringing him back for one more year
Yeah.
to be a part of like a you know the same three-headed monster that we have,
Mm-hmm.
you could easily draft a guy and we'd be good. Set it and forget it. I mean, some people are like the whole, can we get Bijan? Like Bijan from Texas, that dude
Yeah.
is
Comparing him.
he's the real deal.
Yeah.
I was watching for a week straight last week of everything I could find on him, and he's got some sorcery with his feet. He can do it all. Jameer Gibbs from Alabama. He's a guy who he doesn't. I don't think he has all the tools that uh, Bijan has, but I think he's a guy that has juice.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some juice, and he's slippery too, and he's a slasher as well. So I think I was watching a lot of him. Let's see who else was there. There's another guy from Auburn, uh, Tank Bigsby.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not, uh, he's a guy who third round. Because I'm looking in the third round.
Yeah,
Third
no, that
round.
makes sense. That makes sense because they said it was gonna be more running backs. That's why I said the whole thing with Miles. If he doesn't mind taking a hometown discount, then he'll stay. But I have a feeling he's gonna have to go shopping because I don't think they're gonna give him any more because they let him run his contract out.
Like I know a lot of Eagle fans were talking heavy about replacing Quez Watkins.
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, I feel like he had his time to really debut, and he kind of fucked it up. You know?
I mean, because and these are the conversation.
24.
These are the conversations that I have daily. This is not like this is daily.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I get Quez Watkins hate. I get a lot of today I was actually talking about if you think about it, Quez was involved in some of his plays could have been a result of some else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying in terms of if he makes a play in
Yeah.
said game, Washington, that's a win. He makes that play against Dallas,
Mm-hmm. Another one. Yeah.
that's a win. If he
Mm-hmm.
if he makes a catch in the Super Bowl,
Super Bowl. It would have been an extra touchdown they needed. Yeah, you're right.
touchdown or field goal or
At least
what have you.
yeah, that would have been extra points they could have not had to stress about, even if Hurts had fumbled. So yeah, you're
Not,
right.
not, not that we're trying to attack him, but
No, I
this
don't
is
hate Quez. I
right.
saw his
Yeah,
purpose when they got him because he was a good 3 or 4, and then he started looking like he could be a 2 even at one point. But
but this is how the front office is looking at
yeah, you have to consider the times that he did fuck up and when he decided to go ghost. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things. Like, I'm not going to be them people to want to at somebody to death or whatever. I usually, if I at people, it's usually to encourage them or just say they're hot. But I'm not one to dump on somebody I don't know. You know what I mean? I'll just be like,
Yeah,
he's beating himself up. He already knows that he said it pretty much in, the last footage they had of them clean out their lockers. Like, he knows he regressed. So at some
yeah, and
point,
I
you have to
thought
realize you're not safe.
to me it's more of a confidence thing with him.
Yeah. Oh, definitely it is. Yeah. because he has the talent clearly.
I played wide receiver. I know when it looks like when a wide receiver loses confidence. Like he's thinking too much. His hand placement, the way he tackles the football. I mean, some players, it's a natural thing. Like you see Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. It's a natural thing.
It's just natural. Devontae is smaller than anybody. He still played like he weighed 300 pounds this year.
I was like, when people are
like
talking all that, people are talking all that shit about Devontae when he got drafted. Like, go watch the film.
Right. He's not scared.
No,
he's not scared. I ain't one to say, like, I'm not gonna lie and sit there and say I didn't panic every time he got hurt, because I'll be like, he's so skinny, of course he's gonna get hurt, but he plays like he's a 300-pound dude.
Devontae Smith, when he's outside the club, he ain't never scared. Okay. Okay. He ain't never scared.
Rumor has that he's supposed to be getting married soon, so he'll probably be the off-season wedding.
He's a psychopath. All he wants to do is stay inside the house, play Call of Duty, eat some gumbo, and play football.
Yeah, he's definitely him and like Nakobe and all those boys. They're gonna show you why these dudes are all about football, and that's it. Like, they ain't for the extra stuff. I think that a lot of guys adopted that kind of like focus on this team, which is why we thought for sure we had this Super Bowl, because nobody seemed to be losing any kind of momentum. We got
some leaders from Bama in there.
Totally. I mean, that's why I can't wait till Nakobe starts, because I think that's gonna be a whole nother level. Small or not, I think he's gonna pack a punch regardless of his size.
We do have to talk about these Eagles getting their guys on the field. I was looking at the snap counts.
Yeah.
From Jordan Davis to Cam Jurgens to you name it. It's crazy that they got out snapped by undrafted free agent safety.
I agree.
Out of all people,
But you know what? That's the beauty.
What was the nickname called? White Chocolate?
Oh, Dallas. That was
not Dallas. Did Dallas call him White Chocolate? No.
When they did that guessing game, Miles had the clues they gave. One of them was White Chocolate, and then Boston said Dallas, and so Dallas, I guess, had the nickname of White Chocolate. But I don't know who else might. I don't know if there really is somebody called White Chocolate. Dallas don't seem like the type of person that would be labeled White Chocolate, though. I was fooled for a minute, and I think now I realize.
Oh, what's his name? Our safety from Middle Tennessee State. No, who backed up Epps? No, backed up Chauncey.
Blankenship.
Yeah, Blankenship. Yeah.
Blankenship, I would think would be more that, because he was dancing with them a lot.
Bro, he had like 20% of the snaps.
Yeah. I'm not worried about him saying,
undrafted free agent got all that snaps.
That's what I'm saying. So sometimes the UDFA guys actually are the ones that show up.
But in terms of the way our team is set up, we had super depth. But also, if you look at, this is where, when I speak to folks, I'm like, look at what the Chiefs did. Mm-hmm. They got rid of, one of the best wide receivers in the league, and they ran it back with rookies.
Right.
Look at their draft class and look at the percentage of plays that those guys played in. You can go from, their defensive end to their cornerbacks to Pacheco, their running back.
Yeah.
This is what we need to do: get younger and get guys that actually get on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So that the draft will be very important. But it's not.
I wouldn't be shocked if they don't get certain people then, though, because if they decide to use those guys they haven't used, that'll probably be why they don't go for a lot of players. Like if they start moving back, you know what I mean? Like they'll have confidence in the guys they still haven't used yet. I'm saying.
And the other thing that for Eagle fans, you have to realize how advanced Howie is in terms of the cap, in terms of comp picks. He realizes some of these guys that are going to get signed by other teams. Mm-hmm. We're getting comp picks for that. We don't have picks in some of the middle rounds. This is a perfect opportunity to watch his magic work.
And try to be patient.
these comp picks are tradable as well. I do think Eagles are going to probably trade one of those ones.
Mm-hmm. You know what's coming. Yeah, you know what's coming, because he's king of making things like get one pick, get three for later. Flip.
Hey, and if Richardson does slip, in the draft, and somebody's like, "Nah, I'll wait to the very end of the first round so I can get that 5th year option."
Mm-hmm.
He'll dangle that right in front of you. Let Howie do what he do. But that's the thing. Like we do have to trust in Howie that he's gotten it right. Last year was a
It was a doozy. Gail's
A
still
plus
traumatized from last draft.
plus. I mean, the thing what he did in the offseason on top of that,
Yeah. The off season, obviously, with AJ coming was a big like ding,
AJ Brown, uh, N'Kobe Dean, Jordan
Yeah.
Davis, like he implemented. I mean, Chauncey, Hassan.
Even Zach
My,
Pascal,
my
he came
God,
in
Zach
handy too.
Pascal.
Yeah.
The fact that we upgraded from different. You're talking about Jalen Rager. We're talking
Yeah.
about J.
Yeah.
Joe.
Thank
I
you.
mean, those guys like Andre Dillard was an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to deal with any of that.
You have to deal with that drama, yeah.
He did. He put in work, man. He put in work.
He did, and that's why I get every year he has to challenge himself even more because, me, I was part of the F Howie crowd, and at times I still feel that way. But I know that he has done the damn thing to get them to a Super Bowl, and the second year of a new coach is a big thing. And now with your whole coaching staff getting shuffled around again, it's just like let's hope that everybody is literally on the same strategic page because that's all I care about.
Like last year, what I thought was, uh, I still can't get over all the moves he pulled off. So this
Hmm.
year is not that I'm doubting him. I'm just saying it's very.
Yeah, it's a lot to.
This is we're talking about two offensive coordinator,
Yeah,
defensive coordinator. You got we have team leaders as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Team
yeah.
cap. We're talking about team captains that could be gone.
Could be gone, right?
But you do have to trust that like this is why you have leaders in the locker room who set up the next generation of players. Whether it's Jalen,
Hmm.
whether it's Landon Dickerson, you're talking about guys who during the pandemic, Landon Dickerson created his own little gym at his house to get
Hmm.
a lot of these guys that are infused in this locker room are a lot of them are leaders.
Hmm.
So I feel good that our younger guys are, you know, can step up. You know, Cam Jurgens, can
Yeah.
he be the to Luke to Kelsey's Obi-Wan?
Right.
I mean, he was chosen.
Yeah, he
He
was
was just,
chosen. So I believe in him. I believe in him. So I feel like Kelsey should feel more confident now to retire than any other year. So if he does decide to do the big announcement, I would be more than happy for him.
oh
But I can
he's coming back, right, AJ?
look, I'm
Say
not gonna blow no smoke up your ass, but
how are you feeling? Are you it's a yes or no?
I don't know. I would think Kelsey, after the way things end with that Super Bowl, he would want to do one more year. I would think he just want to get in there just to just to feel like they can finish again strong because they left so much shit out there on the table at the end of that game.
I'd have
You
to
know?
I'd have to feel like it's great for his podcast. It's great for his
Yeah, it
brand.
is.
It's great for the Kelsey family, the
Yeah.
parents. Everyone was getting love.
Yeah. I know that mom is tired from all that exposure.
Mom's
She
like,
probably had more press than she ever had in her life. She was like,
can you?
I don't want to do that shit again.
I was telling somebody, I was like, yo, the Kelsey parents should be put in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame parents. They dealt with more people probably like the father said he said I had more people blowing up my phone. I had to turn my phone off.
You know,
You know,
Papa Kelsey's like, I was like,
it's
I
too much
made that.
shit.
Came from me.
Yeah,
All that
yeah.
from me. Wife is like, I birthed that. I did that.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
even all that stuff before the Super Bowl that I could have did without. Like, I know that once they went to her again, I was saying to myself, I said, I know at this point feel like she said the same stuff 15 times to different reporters.
Kelsey said he's like, hey man, that's why he got very emotional because he
Yeah.
said that to see his mom on the top
Hmm.
of the world for a moment and like the fact that they got all that attention and love, he was like, yo, my
Yeah.
mom was like happy.
Yeah.
So I felt like at the very end when he was looking for his brother, I was like, this can't be his last moment.
I don't think he wants to go out that way. I
I'm
don't
not
think he wants to go out that way. If
I'm
he
not
has to go
the
out kind of like Brady did, where if they have a sucky year, which I don't think they will, but if he has to go out without a Super Bowl, next year, then he can say he actually had one, but I feel like they had that one little opportunity, and it's probably going to eat at him to retire with that kind of ending. But at the same time, I'm not shocked if he decides to throw it because he's got to think of his body. You know what I mean? They about to have another baby. I don't even think the wife still had the baby yet. Um, I think she's still walking around with that baby chilling. The baby might have to be induced.
I'm gonna have to do some intel. Last
Right.
time
Yeah.
he thought he was going to retire, I reached out to a
Yeah.
friend who actually was friends with his wife and does a lot of shipping at her
Okay.
company.
Okay.
And they did it and created some kind of relationship. So she gave me intel. She's like, no, he's not
Right.
retiring. I was like, so I have to go back and get that.
You got to
All
see if
right.
you get the nod. You know, just blink twice if you say yes.
Like, so what are we working with?
Yeah, we don't know.
Um,
It could go either way. I won't be shocked either way because, like you said, there's a lot of guys that are not probably going to be here this season. I think that
it's
this
gonna be
offseason
weird.
is really important.
Yeah. I mean, who do
Yeah.
you like? The whole Fletcher Cox talk and Javon Hargraves, who's
Yeah, Hargrave's gonna he's
Deron
gonna get
Payne actually just
Mhm.
got tagged. So I'm not sure if they actually try to trade him, but
Mhm.
since he's off the market now, Javon Hargraves is alone at the top of the defensive tackle free agent class. So I think that I'd like to think he comes back
I would like to think he would too, but I wouldn't be shocked if he.
because I think there was some kind of if they bring him back, the dead money will be the way it looks. If you follow the money, it looks like Hargraves is coming back.
I would hope so. I think he should be proud of himself because considering how much he's grown and how much he was a major factor in a lot of those number of sacks they had that were unprecedented for the season. I would think I would want to. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the homerism in me goes. It took me so long to grow, and I grew in Philly of all places. I want to stay here and make it my career. You know, but
I think Hargraves and CJ.
I wouldn't
I
be shocked if
think
CJ comes back. CJ already showed me a lot in the few games that he played, even before he got hurt. So I was convinced. I said that dude is meant to be here.
ability to make plays, ability
He's
to
just not afraid. He's got balls. You know.
the moment that I saw him get in front of Tom Brady's face, no flinch,
Yep.
and stare him down, I was like, but this guy's on a different level. I don't know what he's
Yeah.
having, but I'll have what he's having.
Yeah, he has no fear, and the way the only person that seemed to have done anything in the last part of the Super Bowl, CJ decided to get up in Pacheco's gut and got him stuttering for a minute.
Lit him
And
up like a
only
Christmas
impact
tree.
I saw. Yeah.
He's got his car stolen and went to work the next day
Let's see.
in Philly.
Can't
He's
hold me
like,
down, even though I don't like you, Philly, for that.
yeah, he's definitely on a different level.
He's a warrior, but I'm sure they're gonna have to talk to him about that money. Obviously, he's like, I ain't gonna be signing just for anything.
His market value. Let's see, where's it
Because
at?
I'm curious. I'd be shocked if they didn't keep him. That would just be stupid.
13.3 million. That's his average annual salary right now. That's his market. His market value is 5 years, 66 million. His average salary would be 13.3 million. You okay with that?
I think it's worth it.
No,
I think it's worth it.
I
I think it's worth it.
you can't let a guy who was a game changer and I mean he's a guy who in the seams you have to worry about him.
He led the league in interceptions.
He's making plays off script.
Right. So what's the problem? That seems to be our weakest need. Why wouldn't you want to keep a guy that encourages everybody else to step up with just by his play? I mean, to me, that's what Hurts is. He leads by example. He doesn't have to tell you anything. He just leads. So my whole thing is you're gonna have to break the bank for some people. I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes. But I'm sure that means half the squad is gonna be gone.
Keeping Chauncey, you're probably letting go of Bradbury.
That's fine. Because Bradbury, obviously, I feel like he accomplished a lot, even though he was the source of the controversy. But at the same time, I'm like, for the majority of the season, he was definitely an asset to the team. But
AJ was like, that's fine. Go.
That's fine. There's some people you're just gonna have to be like, but
well, we had his college teammates. He invited them to come watch him play. And so they stopped by our tailgate and they were like, I was like, hey, how'd you hear about it? It's like, oh, well, Bradbury went to college with him, and we just figured we're looking for a tailgate. I was like, all right, well, since I'm giving y'all, take care of y'all, I need you to take care of the conversation that needs to be had. If he comes back, will he take a discount?
Right.
And they're like, I don't know if he'll take a discount.
Because he ain't stupid.
And then he echoed the same thing in his exit interview.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm not coming for cheap. I'm
yeah,
not staying for cheap.
that's the same. I was like, so obviously our tailgate didn't work. Uh,
Well, he was straight from the door. He knew. He's like, I know what y'all gonna say, Philly, but y'all know what I'm here for. I was here. I was a 1 year rental.
well, the thing is, he got paid. The thing is that he already got paid by the
Right.
Giants, so
Right.
he just stacked another 8 mil on top of what he got from the Giants. So he's like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
getting. I mean, it's crazy, man. The amount of money these.
I mean, compared to the MLB, I just always hate the fact that contracts sometimes are the reasons why we can't keep certain players. Like that's the thing I hate about the NFL as opposed to like MLB where they just print money. You know what I mean? I feel like we could have probably kept a lot of teams intact if we didn't have to abide by this whole salary cap shit. If you could just like be like figure it out later.
Put put it on my
Sometimes,
card.
yeah, exactly.
Can I
Put it
charge
on my
this?
tab.
Can I put it?
The day I retire, I'll just make sure I make that a Venmo to myself. But no, I don't want to keep you. But that's why I wanted to talk because I said this is all group therapy for me. I mean, the last time me and Eddie just did a pod was about 2 weeks ago, and I was just
Shout
like,
out to
I don't
Eddie.
think I feel like recording after this. Shout out to Eddie B. But I feel like at this point now I got to get with Breezy. So look, she's a mom. I know I can never get her alone these days. So I'm gonna try to see if I can
And she said,
promise her 20 minutes.
as of yesterday, she got a new monitor. So she
Okay.
said, content season is the
All
last
right.
text that I got from her. So
Okay. All right. All right.
content season. So
Shoot, I'm about to put a GoFundMe because I need Eddie to get a new computer because homeboy be losing signal like crazy. I ain't even gonna play him no, but he knows he's due for some. But
it's
I
about the
gotta
internet.
to the world. It's about the internet. The internet, it's a
Yo,
scheme.
get your Wi-Fi set up. You know,
Well, it could be mine too, because Lord knows I'm at my mom's, so it's not like I'm really on my own Wi-Fi. Trust me, because when the turn up comes in springtime and I do a whole switch, it's about to be real. So
she's like, I'm coming back with 5G.
I'm coming back hard. Yeah. Because that's all I need now. Shoot. But anyway, Gail, thank you so much for spending a Friday with me on another group therapy, Birds of a Feather. Because Lord knows I'm going to be hurting till training camp comes at least. And all the guys are back and practicing again. And we talking football. But right now, Sixers had a great win last night. So I'm just be proud of the Beardadelphia.
Okay.
Because Harden was hitting the threes at the right time last night. So
Hey man, just stay focused, like Tupac would say
yep.
in one of the songs. Keep your head up.
Keep your head up.
Keep your head
Always.
up.
Always.
And we're
Still
gonna keep
fly,
doing
equals
this
fly.
as always.
As always, you check out Gail next live stream, Fourth and John. Please do and follow him on all social platforms. Definitely the party, even in the off season, and definitely tune in to Fourth and John live stream when the draft starts. It is a fun time. Hopefully, if you get in, because it gets pretty crowded after a while, because people be popping in and out like myself.
Well, I might have some breaking news for you. We might be doing a live show at the Hard Rock, so you could attend.
Oh, this is true. Okay, good. That'd be something I can just go in person.
You just
That's
roll
awesome.
up, sipping
Roll
on
up.
private stock.
Look, Gail, no people. I haven't been in the Hard Rock since the last time I had my birthday get together there. That
So
one
you
time.
can actually jump on a live show.
There you go.
And talk your talk. How about
You heard
that?
it. You heard it. You heard it here first. And this is definitely going to be something we can all grasp together because, like Gail said, this whole draft is important. But it's even more fun when you got people who are basically hoping for the same things that you are in that moment, since we haven't been able to bond since the Super Bowl. So, but you heard it first. AJ the Suburban Princess. That is Gayle Sanders. Once again, check him out, Fourth and John. It's almost March, people. Combine's almost here. We can still talk football. It's just going to take a little time, and we all going to heal and fly Eagles fly our way into September. So I'll talk to you soon.
All right, y'all.
Take care. I got to hit record. I'm so bad at ending because it takes forever to get out of the shot. Hold on. Where's my thing? Oh, there it is.